the Warriors did a pretty good job. The Bucks, it's a challenge for the Bucks to keep everybody together.
It is
the way the NBA is built. A team is not supposed to be contending for 7 or 8 years in a row. It's not supposed to be. They're violating the natural order. They're violating the natural order. They're bending the. You're supposed to have like
bending the spoon in the Matrix. You're like
they're bending it. Like they're fighting against order to keep themselves. That's why I'm saying like it's so hard to be competitive like for this long of a run. Like it's just very, very hard. It's not supposed to be this way. The way players have to get paid, the way to keep a team good, you trade your young players. You can't play your young players. It's supposed to be a circle. And the Bucks are fighting against it to try to keep it, to extend it,
Which other teams you think they're fighting against it, apart from the Bucks, right? Which other teams? I mean, the Bucks and who's just fighting against this circle?
Certainly the Warriors, but it's kind of broken a little bit. But, the fact that the Warriors they went to the finals 5 years in a row. Between 14 and 19, 5 years in a row. This is just unheard of in the modern era, right? And finally, guys get hurt, and they go 2 years where they're terrible, and they come back and win. That was amazing. The 2022 championship, 3 years after that they came back and rose back up, that was amazing. Like that 2022 championship is more special than the ones they won with Durant when they were just way better than everybody else.
Dominated everybody. It was
that 22 championship is so valuable. So here they are in 24, kind of crumbling a little bit, and people are like, "Oh, the Warriors are done." Like sort of like insulting them. They're done. They can't do it anymore. I'm like, yeah, but look what they did. They were great. They won 4, then they went all the way down to the bottom, and then they came back up and won it again. Like, what an amazing ride. Let's celebrate the 2022 championship. Let's not denigrate them in 2024 because that's what happens. But that's not the way it goes in the world. In the world, you have to. The Lakers the same way. The Lakers were good for a few years, and now they're holding out against. They're trying to hang on to the way they were 4 years ago. They're not that team anymore. It's hard to refresh it, but the Spurs made the playoffs for 20 straight years.
For 20
straight years. And now they're down. Now they're coming back up. But it happens. And that's the other thing. Sometimes it's okay not to win the championship. That's another thing about this era. This era
it's not okay with that era, bro. We I'm laughing, but because I said this as a player as well. We sacrifice so much and say, and especially if you're one of the guys in the teams that you stay in the same team and you're not the easy, you want to, this is what I'm going to do, this is how we're going to do it. And really, it's hard. And I'm not saying you don't take no for an answer, but it's hard not to leave at the end.
Let's talk about the Bucks this way.
Okay.
The 2021 championship is one of the purest championships that you could ever win. Because the whole team was built by the team and they all grew together, right?
That's true.
And they
6
came
years
together.
Far.
Right.
From 21, we're still, oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody came together. A couple of guys were like Bobby came in, or whatever, but basically homegrown.
Yes.
All the way grown. And you had these losses and you kept coming back. You had some losses. You kept coming back. And small market hadn't been to the finals in 50 years.
50 years.
50 years, right?
Yeah.
50 years. They finally go back. They win. They win in this amazing moment. COVID is coming to an end. All these people are out in the middle of the
district,
city.
60,000 people were.
It's an incredible moment. There'll never be a night like that again.
Took the trophy to Greece, Acropolis, the whole planet.
So that's what I'm saying. That, it is okay to say that is the mountaintop. But it's no. Jordan won 6, and how many rings? You had 3 rings. Well, you're not as good as the guy who won 2. You're better than the guy who won 2, and you're not as good as the guy that won 4. But you're like, well, wait a minute. I know. I told Mark Lazary, who sold the team. He sold his part of the team.
Oh yeah.
He was one of the owners. When he sold the team, he didn't want to sell. He didn't want to sell the team, but he had other things he needed to do, and he was getting a great price. And I said it's okay. Because he made a lot of money first. But second, I said it's okay because you'll never have that feeling again. That feeling, will never be
You want
the
to hear
same.
something, Mr. Bryant? Sometimes I always have this section when you like, what movies you watch and you cry. Sometimes if I watch the run, like I'll like in the end of the run of the whole like playoff run and the whole season and how he went and Giannis going down and us and playing this that like sometimes I'll tear up sometimes
Of
because
course, it's so emotional. It means so much, right?
yeah, and with Bobby and the guys and Chris and like it's I don't know. I say
Yes,
this and I get I get
right.
goosebumps.
Because it matters so much. Well, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it's gonna be almost impossible to replicate that. Even if you win another one, even if Giannis wins two more, it will never be like that because that was the purest one, and it happened in Milwaukee, and all like that. And like what I say, like
Oh, I mean,
that's
don't get me
why
wrong, let's win. Let's
not.
win. And we'll
No,
forget.
I know, I know what you're saying. Obviously, everybody wants to win one more, but like it is worth saying the mountaintop was achieved. Like you once you are a champion, like that's it. Like
Forever, that's true.
like I hate how it's like, oh, but he only won two. This guy won four. I mean, I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Like, it's okay. Sometimes when you reach the first round of the playoffs and you get eliminated, sometimes you did great. Sometimes you really, really achieved. And can't you say, boy, you got the most out of that season? No, it's like, nope, if you didn't win the championship, you were a failure. But wait a minute, we overcame this and this, and this guy retired, this guy left in free agency, and we could have been here, but we got here. Can't we celebrate here? Can't we celebrate that between, October and May, we gave our fans like 50 great nights? Like, can't you celebrate that? Like, that's not celebrated.
That's a whole different perspective. Have you ever want to work in the NBA?
No, because teams
Why?
are vicious.
What is that?
Because here's why. Because let's say I had a friend and he hired me to play for the,
Play for office, whatever.
play for the Omaha Royals. Let's say there's some team, and then I come in there, and I do like great work, and then like the star player doesn't like the GM, and so the GM gets fired, and everybody else gets fired underneath them. I don't like that.
But okay, let me tell you exactly how this works. This is how I believe in my whole heart, and this is what I believe. If you're of value, people know this about you. It doesn't regardless of what people will say outside of it, regardless of what you think. If you're of value, you could fit anywhere, and say, oh, it's front office or is this or whatever you want to do into the NBA. If you have a team now, if specifically you have a team and you go like, I was raised in such and such, and I really want to work for them, and I want to be intern, blah, 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 that's different because that doesn't mean you will always play for them. But if another team, because it's 30 teams, first of all, and second of all, like they ask around, they know they're not investing it like this.
I don't know,
Especially
man.
if you dissect basketball like this and you like.
Well, I will say this: like nothing I could ever do in my profession could ever achieve the feeling that you guys got when you won the championship. That's something we can't have, and that's why I kind of have a strict rule that I never, because a lot of the media, and it is important for the media to go in the locker room so that the fans can experience the championship, but I never go into the locker room when the team wins and celebrates, because that's not for me. That's for them. I think it's important to have the cameras in there so that the fans can sort of feel it too, because they can celebrate
That's
too.
crazy. It is.
But I did one time.
Yeah.
I did one time.
Which time was this?
In 2016 when the Cavs won. I did go in then because, I had born and raised in Cleveland and I covered that team for many years and everything like that. But I would never do that because that's not for me. That's not what we do. That's for the team. But you can't achieve that. You cannot achieve that feeling of victory.
I mean, that is
But
true.
that's one of the reasons why I like the NBA Cup, because like that's something else to win.
NBA. So now before we go into that, like the NBA Players Cup. Okay, NBA Cup. Right. Let's call it this. To me, it was one of the best things that's ever happened. Because in the beginning, just like the playing, people hated it. It's like, oh my God, playing tournament, who, what? The best thing ever, right? And now they're playing a cup. And I'll say why. It's because me being from overseas, we always had two competitions. We always grew up with the cup and the league trophy.
Of course, yes.
Which the cup was always another team. Was a team that was hot. Was a team that, because it's elimination, it was a team that was, oh my God, these guys are strolling right now. And then the trophy was the team that persevered, the team that was more consistent, the team that was more, So I loved it when he came in. Now, obviously, money wise, of course, now because
Yeah.
have great sponsors now. What is it called now? It's
Emirates
Cup.
Yeah.
So
because you guys got the bonus last year, right? Because you were in the semifinals.
Yes, we went to the semis. So we definitely got a little bit of the bonus. We love to have the first place bonus, obviously. But, but
I was surprised. Like, I'm not surprised that some of the guys like on the two ways would be happy, but like I was surprised how much LeBron wanted that 500,000.
Yeah,
LeBron makes like almost 500,000 a game anyway.
Yeah. So it's not the money per se. It's the obviously level of respect, but it's like, I get to do what I love and win and get some. This is extra. We call it extra now. Like after 10 years, they won't call it extra, but in the first year of it, they're like, oh, no, I get to do this.
Also, like, look at last year. If you're an Indiana Pacers fan, you haven't had anything to cheer for. They hadn't been in the playoffs in years. You hadn't had anything to cheer for.
They definitely did last year. Like
they get all the way there, and it totally engages their fan base. Like, why is that a bad thing?